One man's trash is another country's treasure. Get absolutely wrecked, Gareth Southgate, because Folarin Balogun has committed his future to the U.S. men's national team. This guy has 19 league goals. He has 2 assists. He's averaging an over 7 match rating in League A for a mid-table club. I mean, this isn't PSG. This isn't Monaco. This guy is doing this for a mid-table club, and they're only mid-table because of the 19 goals that he has scored. He's on loan from Arsenal, and I really think he's ready to go back to that Champions League club, a club that challenged Man City this year in the Premier League. Folarin Balogun is only 21 years old. He is going to be the Usmnt striker, the number 9 in 2026 on home soil. And really, I think there are a slew of things that could have made him commit to the U.S. national team. But I think that having the World Cup on home soil, having that home crowd behind him, he likes the attention, right? We've seen all of the Instagram posts. We've seen him kind of bait all of the audiences and all of the fan bases towards who is he going to pick? Who's he going to commit to? He's played for the U.S. youth national teams. He's played for the English national teams. I mean, he was a huge part of the English under-21s and their Euro chase. I really thought that it was going to be such a long shot for Folarin Balogun to commit to the U.S. I thought maybe 10%, 15% chance that he does it. But somehow, without a head coach, without Greg Berhalter, who has historically been one of the best recruiters in U.S. national team history as a manager, without him, without any formal manager, we have made Folarin Balogun, we have helped Folarin Balogun see what the vision is for the U.S. national team going forward. We have helped him see what it could be like to be the superstar, to be the number 9, leading the attack with Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna and Timothy Weah and Brendan Aronson beside you. I mean, this team now, the World Cup in itself, we scored 1 goal that was on purpose. I mean, the other one was off of Christian Pulisic's balls. The other one was completely by accident from Haji Wright. If we had a number 9 and maybe 1 additional center back, we could have easily been semifinalists. We could have easily been into the quarterfinals. I could have seen us having a huge run, a long run into the final stages of the tournament. And now thinking about Folarin Balogun at the number 9, thinking about what this means for 2026, being on home soil, having a competent forward that can score goals, whether it's in the counterattack. I want to talk a little bit about his style and what he can do for the team, because I think he offers us a lot of flexibility that we didn't have before, because Folarin Balogun is incredible on the counterattack. He is great at stretching that back line, at timing his runs to not be offside. He's great with his physical ability to knock off and fend off defenders. Folarin Balogun is great on the counterattack. We can play that way. We can sit back. We can frustrate really great opponents and have Balogun or have Pulisic on the break and on the counter where they're best. But I think what really matters for us and what really changes the game for the U.S. going forward is that Folarin Balogun is a very technical player. He's excellent in the dribble. He can beat players one-on-one, and he can drop into that false 9 position and grab the ball and let us play out from the back. Now, he's not your normal and prototypical, tall number 9 that can hold up the ball, that we can loop it forward to and have him hold it up. He's not that. But in possession, he can absolutely build up, help drop in deep, help pass out from the back, and then spring us on the counter, spring us in behind the defensive line. I really think Folarin Balogun is a game changer. I mean, everyone's going to be excited about this because of the amount of goals that he scored, because of the club that he is employed with at Arsenal. But I really think if we look at this from the perspective of what does he actually do on the pitch, what will he bring to this national team, there are 2 or 3 different styles of play that we can mold around him that feel natural to the way that this team plays, whether it's in a 4-3-3, whether it's in a 4-2-3-1, whether we switch to a 3-in-the-back system and have him play a little bit deeper, or maybe even stretch the defense on a counterattack. I mean, he just offers us so much flexibility in the way that we play, and he's already better in those styles of play than Ricardo Pepi, than Josh Sargent, than Daryl Dike. I've already talked a little bit about his one-on-one ability, but he is a tricky dribbler. He has an excellent first touch. He just helps so much to bring a calmness to the team, and especially if we're trying to play out of the back or play against a deep-lying defense that's sitting back and parking the bus, Folarin Balogun can be really valuable in that respect. Also, just as a striker, as a forward that's scoring goals, He's such a powerful and technical shot. He can curl it. It reminds me a little bit of Thierry Henry in the way that he curls it into the far post. He can strike the ball hard, which is a lot of the ways that he's scored his penalty kicks. And it just feels like this is kind of a turning point. I know we're at the day of, right? The day of him committing, but 2026 is on the horizon. If we can get him integrated into the team and have everyone kind of 3 years on from their career, Gio Reyna, Christian Pulisic, Timothy Weah, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, all these players are still in their early 20s or teenage years. In 3 years, they are going to be that much closer to their prime. With Folarin Balogun committed to the U.S. playing that number 9 position, it feels like, there's a realistic chance that we could not be out of the top 5 or 6 contenders to lift the World Cup trophy in a few years. Balogun was eligible for the U.S. He was eligible for Nigeria because of his parents. He was eligible for England because of where he lived and grew up in his younger years. But the fact that he chose the U.S. means that he believes in this team. He believes in this country's ability to win. I don't think he would commit to us if he didn't think that there was a realistic chance that we could win this next World Cup and beyond. I mean, think of all the talent that we're creating. Think of the 18 and 19 and 17-year-olds that are already playing at a professional level. The U20 World Cup is coming up. All of these players are going to be coming into the team and breaking into the first team, not just in 2026, but in 2030. Balogun will be, what will he be in 2030? He'll be 28 in 2030, okay? This guy is going to be a player that's with us for the next 10, 15 years for the U.S. I mean, I know I'm not usually excitable. I know I'm a very calm person overall, but this news, this Folarin Balogun news, changes everything for the U.S. Now, I did have a full scouting report of Folarin Balogun that shows you why he's so good and what makes him so good on that counterattack, what makes him so good in timing his runs, what makes him so good in that curling shot to the outside post. But unfortunately, YouTube has blocked that because of clips that I used from his game against PSG. So if you do want to see that, that is available in full for Patreons. You can find that link down below in the description. Otherwise, thank you so much. I hope everyone is enjoying this news. Feel happy, okay? I know there's not a ton to be happy about in the world right now, but Folarin Balogun committing to the U.S. is something to be happy about, is something to be excited about. And I think we're going to see him in a month's time in that Nations League semifinal against Mexico. I can't wait to see it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I will see you next time on It's Called Soccer. Peace.